I was like, is this credits? All right. I have beaten Pokemon. The first Pokemon game I've beaten in since Pokemon Black, I believe. I think that was the last Pokemon that I bought, and I didn't even beat Black. I think the last Pokemon game that I've actually beaten was maybe like Ruby or Red Fire, Green Grass, or something. I don't know, something around that time. Like, it's been a long time since I beat a Pokemon game. I actually wasn't originally going to write down my thoughts for this game, but I decided that I was actually going to. So for overall thoughts, I think this is the most accessible Pokemon game I have ever played. It just does a really good job making all the mechanics and allowing you to choose basically whatever Pokemon you want, which was really, really nice. And I'll get into the what makes it accessible in a little bit, but most likely the best Pokemon game I've played in regards to mechanics, systems, and wishlist items coming true. This game just did a really good job with giving you tons of options and not punishing you for the options that you chose. You know, sure, you needed certain types of moves, certain types of Pokemon to progress farther, but for the most part, I got to use whatever Pokemon I wanted to use. I was going for the cool Pokemon, and while I didn't get the team that I wanted, I'm still happy with the team that I was left with, I suppose. I guess I needed to slow it down a little bit more to get the team that I wanted, because you can only catch Pokemon at certain days. I started to lose interest around level 35 to 40. In a normal Pokemon game, this would mean me setting the game down. However, because I didn't have to do the traditional Pokemon level methods and whatnot, I could continue to play and progress. I think this is a really big thing because all my Pokemon get experience when they're in my party. Whereas in the old school way, you level up one Pokemon, then you level up another Pokemon, and then another one, and then that's it, because you can only have 3 Pokemon that you can actually use, because the other Pokemon are HM box. Unless it's, sir, hey, Digital Hearts did QA on this, let's go Digital Hearts. So I was really, really happy about that. The Pokédex debacle didn't affect me at all. I can definitely understand people wanting to use all the Pokemon they've caught in previous games, but I feel the community took it way too far. The amount of work it takes to get all those Pokemon in a game is hard enough. I'm happy with the content I got, and I wish the vocal community was more understanding of that. I definitely don't... I see where people are coming from, but there was just a lot of spite, I guess, that was going on, and the final product is really, really good, at least for someone in my camp. Anyways. Story, was it satisfying? No. No, just not at all. Did it feel complete? I guess. I guess I have to give that to it. How was the pacing? Okay, I guess. Just okay, I guess. Thoughts on the story? I wrote this down earlier this morning, so I didn't finish everything. No, thank you. Having not finished the story yet, I can without a doubt say that this is one of the least interesting stories I've ever encountered. For a Pokemon game, it might be good. However, it's as light as it gets and drags the story throughout the whole game with little to gravitate to. But I play Pokemon for mechanics and combat, not for the story. So, in the end, I'm okay with that outcome for a game like this. Stuff. For characters, Team Yell is obnoxious. Essentially, every team in Pokemon is obnoxious. I would love a formula change for this kind of thing. Oh, hey, look at that. I get to show my Pokemon on the front. Let's go. The inclusion of multiple rivals is pretty cool, even if the most interesting arc was Beatty, while everyone else falls flat. They definitely didn't do that great of a job with all the other rivals. There was some hate on social media about Hop, and while I don't think he deserves hate per se, he is definitely not an interesting rival. Bring back Gary. And Marnie or whoever, she wasn't interesting at all either. For gameplay, mechanics, and design, what gameplay elements stand out? HMs are gone. You can now build any Pokemon team you want. Hooray! TMs are infinite use. Customize your team. Hooray! TRs are single use but purchasable. Hooray! Wild Pokemon change every day, keeping you coming back to catch Pokemon. Really good idea for the longevity of the game. Experience share is now a default mechanic across all Pokemon. Pokemon who don't participate in battle get 50% experience. Hooray! Still a Cardinal Sin though. 2 nurseries to double the breeding. Nice. Gym badges changed to cap the level of Pokemon you can catch rather than cap the level of Pokemon you can control. I spoke about this a little bit earlier. I think this is ultimately the best move for the series. It is somewhat questionable, but I'd rather control my Pokemon forever than wait to catch Pokemon. And I think this game did a really good job of making it so that you didn't have to wait very long to catch all the Pokemon you wanted to. It's kind of a short game. What is it, like 20 hours, 24 hours or something like that? Not too bad. Let me see. You have a portable Pokebox that you can move Pokemon in and out of your party at nearly any time in the game. Such a great game. It's so good. 400 Pokemon is an absurd amount to catch. I actually wish they went with 150 brand new Pokemon and polished everything up really well. I'll kind of get into this later, but 400 Pokemon is a lot. And there's a lot of things that they didn't add or spice up, I guess. Things weren't completely up to snuff where it could have been if they maybe had less Pokemon. The gym challenges were varied and appreciated. I like puzzles. Those were great. For combat, definitely on the easy side. Could be my compliment of Pokemon, how over-leveled I was, or the game in general, but I coasted by pretty easily. There were a couple of fights where I had some difficult times. The champion, Leon, being one of them, where I had a hard time. But overall, the game was actually pretty simple. Fighting type Pokemon get you through quite a bit of the tough battles, aka the gym battles. I like how much information the game provides. I can inspect the enemy Pokemon for their stat boosts and type, and if I fought the Pokemon before, I can see how effective my moves are. This is a really cool thing that they added here that, you know, I don't know. I guess I should add the disclaimer that I don't know all the changes that they made prior to this game, but everything that I'm experiencing now is pretty much new and fresh, and it's really cool to just have all that information. Dynamax is definitely my least favorite inclusion. The mechanic itself isn't a bad one per se, it's just that the game doesn't change how it uses it. Gym battles would be so much harder not knowing what Pokemon is going to be Dynamaxed or when. Overall, I just don't think it adds anything new or fresh to the formula. It feels very neutral, and once it's gone, it won't be remembered. If gym battles, like, let's say the first gym, you're like, all right, my last Pokemon, I'm Dynamaxing that. But every gym after that, you know, they would throw out their biggest Pokemon, maybe the second Pokemon, the third Pokemon, fourth Pokemon. Like, if they just varied it up, or let the AI choose who they Dynamaxed, that would change everything and make all the gym battles actually much harder, because you don't just have to wait until the last Pokemon to Dynamax. You would have to preemptively figure out when they're going to Dynamax, and then you got to Dynamax yourself. Like, it'd be rough times. You'd always be on the back foot, basically, and I think gym battles should be like that. Um, let's see. Nothing for dungeons. Cardinal Sins backup party earns less experience. I mentioned this. I think this is a huge step up for the Pokemon series in general. But when it comes to just RPGs in general, you know, just let everybody get full experience. Almost done. For sound, the music, there were a lot of quality tracks. I was not expecting so many really good music tracks in this game, so nicely done. No voice acting. For the graphics, the visuals were really nice. A very good art style for a 3D Pokemon game. I really like the art style. I think they did a really good job. The animations were on point most of the, or were not on point most of the time. Walking animations and Pokemon moves could have been cleaner and more creative. I really would have liked to see unique animations for every Pokemon. Obviously, there's 400 Pokemon. There's what, like, let's just say 35 moves that every Pokemon can learn. Probably more than that. Probably averages out at like 40 or 45 or something like that. Like, that's a lot of unique animations. But a lot of the moves are the same. But, you know, like, they're different Pokemon, so they probably got to do different things. I just wish they did things differently. Like Snorlax, for example. If he's going to body slam, you know, like, his belly should be hitting the Pokemon, not his feet. So I really wish there was more, I don't want to say effort, but more variety in it. Replay value. I don't know. I don't know what would possess somebody to replay the game, but it looks like there's probably some post-game stuff. I still gotta catch the Zacian or whatever. Did the game like autosave? I guess it autosaved. What's my playtime? 25:45. Oh, yeah. Just leave it right there. So yeah, I would say there's no replay value in the sense of once you beat the game, you start the game over and play it again. But there's probably plenty of post-game content. Such as, you know, catching the Pokemon you want. Maybe like there's probably like a battle tower somewhere. There's you know, who knows? There's probably all kinds of crazy stuff that you could do. And you know, you still got to catch the legendary Pokemon somehow, some way. And if the developer is watching, I'm quite happy with my experience with Pokemon Sword. Despite me starting to lose interest about halfway through the game, I was able to finish the game because of the obnoxious mechanics of the older Pokemon games being changed for the better. It kept my motivation high. I was really, really glad to just be able to experience a Pokemon game that essentially I've always wanted. I've always wanted to have a Pokemon game where I can construct the teams that I wanted. I've always wanted a Pokemon game where I wasn't bogged down by HMs. I've just always wanted a Pokemon game where I didn't have to spend so much time leveling them up. And this game basically gave me everything that I've ever wanted. And that's something that I never thought would happen. So I'm very happy about that. Definitely a great Pokemon game for newcomers, people who have had a hiatus from the game like myself, and potentially for veterans as well. I think this game offers a lot of meat. It might have removed stuff from past games, but I really haven't experienced that stuff. So I think this game is A1. If you end up doing a National Dex, it is my hope that you put as much time, effort, and work into each of those Pokemon as you would if you were just adding 150. I think you don't deserve the vitriol of the internet for the product you delivered, and I hope it doesn't color your decisions the wrong way. I think the internet definitely took things too far as the vocal portion of it. Uh, Everything that I've experienced in this game makes it a fantastic game. So, well done. What I would want to see for the next iteration of console Pokemon is exactly what I saw in Pokemon Sword with some tweaks. Great variety in animation, most of which should be unique to each Pokemon. Less Pokemon overall, maybe 300 max. Weather changing every 6 or 12 hours. A large focus or a larger focus on the story, and a more challenging experience. The great changes to the game did reduce the difficulty, so adding a little more spice to gym battles would shake things up. I definitely think there's only little things, and granted, like, a lot of the changes to Pokemon have been little things, but I really think that this game has built more than a base to build off of. It's kind of set a new standard for me on what Pokemon games can be. And so I think all it really needs is just little tweaks. You know, you can iterate on the Pokemon that you have, just build up the library of animations and things like that, and we've got ourselves a fantastic Pokemon game here. Or to come, I suppose. And the last thing that I have is thanks for the game. Thanks for the great game, Game Freak. You did a very good job. So I look forward to future Pokemon games and seeing what you add to them. So those are my thoughts. And that's where this video ends. So yeah.